ninja, get out the street. High speed chase might crash, gotta hop out on feet. Smash, gotta keep going.
All right, brother. Let's start with your name, man. Who are you?
Who am I? I go by the name, for those who don't know, now you know, I go by the name of Dreemy Alpha, also known as Dreemy or Alpha. I am a creative within the DMV scene and internationally as well. I do graphic design, I do videos, I do movies, but I started off with doing illustration and music, and that's kind of how I'm here today. So yeah.
100%, man. So I think it starts with how you started, right? You're a multifaceted individual. You're a multi-hyphenate. You're, a musician. You're a director. You're an artist in all forms. How did we get to Street Ninja being a feature-length film?
Street Ninja is really an idea that I've had for over the past decade. There was actually an older version of the Street Ninja called in a movie that I had a couple albums ago called 3FB Forever. And in that movie was the Black Ninja, but that movie was kind of rushed. I kind of just made it in a way where I was just trying to get something out to go with my album for real. So the character hadn't quite been fleshed out as much as he needed to be. But this go around, we actually decided we really gonna write the backstory. We really gonna, draw everything out. Cause we really wanted to give everybody a real movie. And I also didn't want to just half-ass anything. I kind of really wanted to make something that, I wanted to give it my all and really make something that was really a feature-length film that that I was actually proud of. A lot of people like 3FB Forever, but me personally, everybody's their toughest critique. I wasn't necessarily impressed by it like that. So I really wanted to make something that I could really, really, really be proud of. Even though I am proud of 3FB Forever. But yeah, so that's how we got to the Street Ninja today.
All right. So when I first got wind of, the Street Ninja project, it was an album. It was almost like a soundtrack to the motion picture. I wanted to know what, did the music inspire the movie or did the movie inspire the music?
So everything, I feel kind of went hand in hand. One thing I think people don't even really realize is that when it comes to movies, especially any movie that you feel is the greatest movie or one of the top movies that's in your catalog, if you have a #1 movie or any movie that's in your top 5 movies, 10 times out of 10, that movie has great music in it. It's not even a game. Music and film, they both go hand in hand. So as I was creating the music, I was always keeping the film in the back of my mind. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I knew if I created the music fully first and then got to the filming, it would help me create the mood and understand how exactly I wanted everything to kind of be fleshed out. You know what I'm saying? Because the first time, again, when I first did my first little short film, I didn't necessarily think it all through. Sometimes I'd make the songs and then sometimes I'd shoot a scene and sometimes I make a song. But this time I actually completed, I would say 85 to 90% of the album first before I really got into filming everything, just so I could create the mood board and understand exactly what I was trying to do. For sure, I did the music first before I got into filming.
Okay. So why did you make this project? What was the premise of making the Street Ninja, the Dark Kingdom, the project and the movie?
So the reason why I wanted to create this movie is because I feel me, and as well as a lot of other people, I would say Sierra Leoneans or West Africans or Africans in general, especially kids or adults like us who parents came from West Africa, and we're the first generation born in America for real, and we all live in that diaspora or whatnot. We kind of all feel this certain connection to West Africa, but it's not a full connection to West Africa. And at the same time, we have a lot of connections and roots here within our immediate area and community because this is really where we grew up. So I wanted to make a movie that really could explore the idea of how we are rooted in this African American community or the urban community that we in, but while also understanding that there is a bigger picture that needs to be addressed. Like, we all still need to go back home to Africa, and we all still need to like help build up our civilizations, because a lot of places, even though Africa is getting built up a lot more than it ever has before, it still needs a lot of help from us, the next generation. It can't just be our parents, you know what I'm saying? The next generation has to come in and come help and build up the community. So I wanted to make a movie that expressed how I felt, wanting to go back home and help my community back in Sierra Leone, but at the same time, feeling the connection back to the community and area in which I actually grew up in. So that's really why I wanted to make this movie. And I also love superheroes and action and martial arts and things of that nature. So, you know, you always got to pepper that type of stuff in there. So that's really the essence of that, for real.
100%. One thing I noticed specifically during this whole process was that you have a lot of capacity, right? You know, the capacity to be an artist, the capacity to be a director, the capacity to manage, like, you know, a big situation with actors and, you know, people coming in to help just make this a success. Can you explain what are some of the biggest challenges you faced while directing this whole thing, and how did you overcome just having the capacity to kind of manage all these things at one time?
Well, there's two answers to that question. I would say that over time I wasn't as good at it as at first. But over the course of, you know what I'm saying, filming the movie and just dealing and working a lot with a lot of different people, it was a skill that I kind of quickly had to learn. And people in my past, they always told me that I was a natural born leader, but that is always like something that as a leader, you always got to keep building towards, being able to direct people, being able to guide people from point A to point B, making people feel comfortable with what you're doing and what you have them doing. And so a lot of the challenges that I had to face was just really accepting that, like, I'm trying to do this massive project, you know what I'm saying, on my own, independently. I don't have any backing. I don't have any budgeting. I have a couple of friends and a very good wife who has been there just to help me really structure and really just help me bring things along. And then as time went by, all of the pieces of the puzzles just started to come together. And the second answer to that question, I would really say just my wife, Angie Kamara. You know what I'm saying? She really, I think she actually is way better at getting everybody's head together and, you know what I'm saying, moving as a collective more than I am. And she actually taught me a lot about, like, okay, you need to bring everybody together, because I'm a person who's so creative, I might skip a few steps. It's like I'll assume that everybody is thinking what I'm thinking when that is not the case. So my wife really told me, like, and really got me, like, hey, you need to bring, at the beginning of every shoot, you need to bring everybody together. You need to explain the entire scene, what's happening, what's the point of this scene, and what is everybody's roles and responsibilities before you even get into, like, the actual filming. Because me, I would just jump into the film like, yeah, stand there, do this, do that, and everybody kind of be like, all right, I'll do it, but they don't really understand the essence of what they're doing. So I would say, again, yeah, one of the biggest challenges in the movie was actually really learning how to be patient with people and understanding who people are and what they're capable of, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses is, and figuring out what I can pull out of them, while at the same time trying to understand that mistakes and mishaps and things of all in that nature are going to happen, and being able to roll with the punches and still think quick on my feet and improvise. And I would say basically that, yeah.
100%, 100%. Shout out Miss Angie.
Shout out Queen Dreamy.
The number one producer in the world.
Yes.
Come on now.
Shout out the producer. She's the greatest.
Definitely brought that empathy to the set. Now, not only are you the director, you're also the main character. Yeah. Can you explain, the Street Ninja, and what do you want the audience to get from seeing his hero story? So, what I want people to get from the Street Ninja story is, again, very similar to how I feel in my everyday life, being torn between, both things, you know what I'm saying? Wanting to
take care of the community in which I grew up in, while also understanding that I have a community beyond here in West Africa that really needs my help and attention, and people that are really leaning on me, on us, everyone that's in the diaspora, to come back and really help them, because we are the ones who really came over here, and whether we even realize it or not, how privileged we are to have gotten a real education, to go to college, to be able to even the simple fact of being able to read and write. Like, we don't even understand that, you know what I'm saying? So what I wanted everybody to understand about the ninja is that feeling of being torn. In the movie, he's already a vigilante or whatever, so he already feels this sense of trying to help the community and trying to eradicate the violence that's all around him. And throughout the movie, he comes to a point where he finds out that he is the royal heir to a throne in a third world country, and he only has a limited amount of time to solve all of the problems that are happening in his community, because sooner or later he's going to have to go back to his home country, and he's going to have to rule there and try to figure out all of the problems that are happening on a whole different side of the world. So it's the same thoughts and the processes that I have within my own brain, that lingering question, like, how are you supposed to help a community that's so far away from you, that needs far more help than the people do here, when you really haven't even handled everything that's happening in your own community right before your eyes. It's a terrifying reality. And I just kind of wanted the audience to kind of just get drawn into that.
I actually like how you put that, you know, just the dichotomy of getting, like, hearing charity begins at home, but it's like, where is home, right? Depending on where your family is from, actually from, right?
Right.
So that's pretty deep. Why do you think people should come, you know, in June, to come watch this movie, support this movie? What is the biggest thing you want them to get from watching this as a whole body of work?
So one thing, and I'm glad that I even created this movie, because one thing that we really lack within the DMV area is truly having an outlet where all of the DMV creatives can really express themselves. There's not really that many opportunities for actors, musicians, creatives in general to really just come on any platform and just, you know what I'm saying, be able to shine. And because even though I would consider myself a great multifaceted artist, I'm not the only one here, and I'm one of many of the dozens, hundreds of creative DMV artists in the area. You know what I'm saying? So I think people should come out in June, just because you're going to be not only supporting me and my vision, but you're also going to be seeing a lot of people who also gave their 100% to 150% to be in this movie and showed a different side of them. It's a lot of music artists who just did music, but they also really good at acting, but they never really got a chance or opportunity to act and stuff. You're gonna be seeing them. You're gonna be seeing people, promoters, photographers, people from all of these different creative worlds in the DMV. You're going to be able to see them either in this movie or know that they were a part of this movie. And that's just something that we really lack. Like, everything in this area, sometimes it's a ripoff. You can't really perform at a show unless you get a promoter $50 to get on stage or something crazy like that. You can't get in the movie, or you can't get in the in circle or the in crowd of a certain group of people unless y'all all cool, y'all all homies. So I wanted to create an opportunity where us, as the greatest DMV creatives that are out there, could just come together and really show the world that, like, hey, like, we really got something here in the DMV. Like, ain't only like these other places like New York or Atlanta or this, that, and the third. No, we really got some. And the thing in the DMV is I would say, like, we're not really the greatest at working together. We're just not the greatest at working together. Sometimes in most cases, it's just everybody fending for themselves. I really just wanted to create a situation where everybody could work together. Everybody can use this movie to, you know, add to their resume. And a lot of people, this is their first movie, you know what I'm saying? They could use this and say, yeah, I acted in that movie. I did this, I did that. And they'll be able to showcase their other talents to the world, because we far too talented just to just put us in one box. Like, oh, I just sing. Oh, I just rap. Oh, I do Afro beats. Oh, I draw, I do photos. I just do interviews. No, like, everybody is multifaceted artists in the DMV, from the fashion to the art. And that's why y'all should come out, just to see like exactly like what level the DMV really could be on if we really work together, you know?
100%. Any final remarks as far as like where they should go see it? How can they find you? You know, when the movie's coming out, where they should look out for? Any final remarks?
Yeah, y'all make sure y'all check out the Street Ninja, coming out June 18th at Bethesda Theatre. The premiere is going to be at Bethesda Theatre. It's going to be live, baby. Food, drinks, merch, a lot of good vibes. And this movie, even though I've been thinking about it for the past decade, or even since 2020 when I really started writing the script, like y'all really seeing 2 years of like really filming and grinding and really putting this stuff together. We gonna really show y'all what could happen if we're independently with, like, imagine we ain't even had no budgeting for this movie. Imagine when, you know what I'm saying, we really start getting funding for stuff. Man, like, imagine we did this with nothing. You know what I'm saying? With nothing. So watch when y'all see what we really have something to work with. So everybody make sure y'all come out June 18th, Bethesda Theater, Street Ninja, The Dark Kingdom, and we live.
Let's get it.